as countries scale up high-integrity carbon markets. Now, Pasang, I know when your engine gets going, you keep going. I will give you time. You have 6 minutes, please.
Thank you, Selina, and namaskar. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for your invitation. And based on my experience and knowledge, I would be happy to share that on the on the need of and the priority of the high integrity that has been focus of today's panel. And with my many thanks for this initiation that is one of the bases actually for respecting the human rights of indigenous peoples and local communities who have been really working on the ground for protection, promotion, continuation, and sustaining the intact of the resources, biodiversity, and ecosystem. And how could we move ahead with a market-based approach, without considering the role and contribution the indigenous people and local communities have carried over for generations on the ground, And just considering the role and contributions, for that one, we cannot just take the bullet train movements of carbon initiation that we have seen around the world by leaving indigenous people, local community, women, youth behind. It has to be done parallel basis. It has to be done equal basis, on equal footing basis. And the speed that we have seen at the moment is a really huge gap. And I believe that gap can be fulfilled with approach of high integrity, not just only focusing on the environmental integrity, but also the social, cultural, spiritual, all connection. Because for indigenous people, forest is not just the carbon sequestration pool, but it is spiritually, culturally, it's connected. Anything happen with the forest happens to the communities as well, and that part is being captured and respected to live with the identity, humanity, and with the ownership of continuity by next generation. So. Marcos is right that it looks simple, but it's so complicated, And every time I try to understand, I think like I understand, but then I close my eyes and I feel like I understand nothing. That was my experience since end of 2008 or 2009 when we have involved in the Red Plus mechanism, because I already talked to the participant committee and UNDP and other sectors. Now with the trees, with the working on the standards, and I have been putting all my effort because this safeguard is based on the principles of the Paris agreements. And then also capture the essence of all safeguards, social environment safeguards. We have worked in the Red Plus with the FCPF and the Work on Well, UNDP, and it has to be carried over and along with the Paris agreements, and the Cancun safeguard. It cannot be forgotten, because we need to move ahead with the lessons learned or our experience from the past, which cannot be forgotten, which need to be balanced, and which need to balance and learn from the past experience to make it more high integrity. And for indigenous peoples, just only social and environmental integrity is not enough. The tenure issues, the land tenure issue, the forest tenure issues is one of the basic fundamentals for protection of our knowledge system, protection of our culture and values, and that is the basis for sustainability. And then and I feel like somehow in the volunteer carbons, somehow is the bullet train speed has somehow forgotten that essence, and that need to be considered fully, otherwise it cannot really successful. It will maybe temporarily successful, but long term will regret to make a big mistake. That part. And here also in Johor, the caucus of International Indigenous Forum on Climate Change, we have massively discussed, and unless and until we respect the indigenous people rights in line with our symbiotic relation with the forest and land tenures, we cannot move ahead with the carbon credit, and the pathway is the same momentum. We are move ahead. So I really believe that let's take a momentum, stop and close your eyes, and are we in the right path? And the path we are moving ahead is not. So this is why we need to pause ourselves and think about it, the implication on the ground. We have been taking the biggest bare soldiers for continuity. And then another part is also, we also need to think about it, benefit sharing mechanism. The existing benefit sharing mechanism looks so promising. However, if we see very closely, the architect hardly sees like in the practical reality when you go to the community or when you work with the reality. This architect, even 80% going to the result-based payment and going to the market and going to the community, looks so like illusionary, because the mechanism has been produced in such a way the recipients need to be legally binding or legally legally recognized. And when we see like indigenous peoples, customary institution and governance system is not legally binded. So how would you ensure that the benefit sharing mechanism will ensure the benefits goes to the indigenous community? So we have a lot of homework to be done. We have a lot of capacity to build up. The capacity of indigenous people and local community, not limited to that one, but capacity of the decision makers, stakeholders, government agency, bilateral, multilateral agency who are involved in this carbon emission, carbon initiation or carbon markets, and support for the communities for insurance, assurance of the recognition of our rights. And this needs to be recognition, not just one illegal recognition, but academic recognition as well, and bringing young generation, faculties, researchers to think about it and support on this. Thank you.